Mm, how important it is to feel fully in oneself when we show up to make space for other people. Ah, and seeing that possibly as an invitation for all of us to really notice when we are with other people, how much of our body is fully present in that space and fully arrived into the dynamic. So often I think that we are partially present. Um, and I say this with love and grace. There's no judgment in any of these things that happen at any point in time. I think we're all beginning to learn and understand that the hmm, the experience of shame and guilt is it's debilitating and harmful, and it's also something that deserves our compassion and love. And that's such a graceful space to um, wade through. Um, I've found in my own process how often I might notice this shame about something, and then I will feel the shame that I have for feeling the shame that I have. If that resonates with you at all, just taking a moment to find a place I can feel love for all of that. That reoccurring self harm that we create and the experiences that are generated inside of our own body. Hmm. And this morning in my, um, I don't even know what to call it. I call it meditation because I don't know what other word makes sense as kind of this like holding place, like for the container of being dropped into myself. And it also doesn't feel quite accurate. It's like instead of meditation, it's like ecstatic self presence or something like that. Or like, I like to call it like going within or just just being with self. And I had this really profound mm, somatic experience happening in right here. It was like upper lower belly. And I was in a practice of forgiveness inspired by one of the books that I'm reading. I don't know why I just did that. I'm just noticing my clothing is sort of drapey and awesome. Um, and it was like to be able to feel the love inside oneself and to create forgiveness. And that forgiveness can be for oneself, it can be for others. Um, and this deep claiming, this has been a big part of my conscious work these past maybe 5 or 6 days of this real claiming that every part of my life that has ever been, that is right now, and that ever will be, that it is fully mine, that I hold myself entirely accountable for the experiences that I've created in the past, for the ones I'm creating now, and for the ones that I will create in the future. And the of course, like, the pain that comes with that, because there can be this, like, tendency, even in the most subtle subconscious way, to outsource the reality of our lived experience to the other, the other being just a holding place word for, this kind of, uh the word blame, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the word victim, and yet our culture understands those words, so there are those words. But really this, um, just to reverse the idea of that, like, to fully hold oneself completely accountable for the experiences that we're having, because in that there is complete empowerment and liberation. I don't know if that lands in anyone's body the way that it's landing in mine, and maybe because this has been part of my really conscious, like, awareness practice over these past yeah, 5 or 6 days, but that lands so powerfully in me. It doesn't feel like a burden. It feels like the opposite. It feels like I fucking did all that. All of that happened because of me. The only responsibility that is there for the life that's happened to me and for the life that I'm living and the life that I will live is mine. Completely, unequivocally, there's no pointing fingers. And woo, and it's an empowering feeling in a way that it's like I it's hard to describe how it lands in my body when I can create that for myself. And I've noticed that, I've noticed patterns in myself that have created a reality that I'm like, "I don't want that, but that's what's happening in my life." And so what's happening inside me, like, ooh, right? What's happening inside me that's preventing me from aligning into that vision that I desire for myself? It's so playful. It's so fun. It's so powerful. So this morning I was going through, and without consciously trying to pull these things up, I noticed my awareness drifting from relationship to relationship that I've had in my adulthood. And I've had 5 partnerships since I graduated high school. And I had a boyfriend in high school too, so I did actually touch into that relationship as well. Um, but I noticed with each of these dynamics, there was this place right here in my upper lower belly where I would feel this somatic, like, recalibration as I felt myself extend an energetic forgiveness, an energetic, like, compassionate love and grace to the person who I was in dynamic with, and the dynamic that we shared, and to myself in those situations that weren't succeeding. And it's like I felt it in this very specific point, and then it would just, like, kinda move throughout my lower belly. And so when we, mm, can develop this, like, really energetically, intuitively noticed self relationship, I believe that we can cultivate these nervous system shifts in ourselves with like a deep conscious practice. And as I say that, I also want to acknowledge that there are so many effective formats for transmuting the energetics of limiting belief systems inside of ourselves. And this has taken mm, years now of me practicing this to feel like I can actually drop into my own being and my nervous system and the energy that is this body and cultivate an opening into something else. And and I say that with like encouragement for everyone and also like real humility because I know I'm not like I know I still need other types of support. I still see a therapist every week. Freaking love seeing a therapist every week. I have a coach also. I see her maybe a couple times a month, twice a month or so. Um, and and then there's other things like so for example, last Friday, this was another solo experience, but I augmented with some medicine and had a profound experience and flowed through 3 very deep, grieving processes. Um, and so that medicine, I had to create the ritual and the container of it, and I chose that, but the medicine also helped me, like, deepen into these places that needed to be felt. Okay. The noisy thing that was coming to me today that I feel very curious about. It's like waking up in the morning, there's a certain feeling to the body when we wake up in the morning, and then we start our day, we kind of move through the day. There's a different feeling in the body, excuse me. And then you move into the evening, there's a different feeling in the body, even evening, approaching bedtime, there's a different feeling. These feelings change depending on what type of time of year it is and the season and what's the weather doing. Um, but how in the day, maybe to soften into this making of noise that we could invite ourselves into that by saying, "Ooh, what is like my morning sound?" MORNING, not morning like grieving. What is my morning sound? I'm waking up, I'm starting my day. What is the sound of me in the morning? Moving to the middle of the day. What is the sound of me in the middle of my day? Moving into the evening, maybe closer to bedtimes, like the wind down into, approaching sleep is starting to happen. What is the sound of me at the end of my awake time of day? What does that sound? Anyway, so that's a suggestion and a prompt and a way to help uh, shape the invitation so that it feels less amorphous and like, I don't know how to do this, um, which is great. It is it is something that we don't know how to do, and that's okay because we can all learn new things. So this is the middle of the day for me. Um, and the sun, as I'm sitting in this chair, it's so interesting. The sun was on the other side of the skylight in my living room, and now it's moving over, and you can see, ooh, my body is starting to get draped by the sunshine crossing the roof of my house. Um, What is the middle of the day sound for me? Let's find out. I'm going to set my phone down so I can kind of drop into my body. Mm, a little bit more. Okay. Make sure I can still be heard or seen and heard. Ah, there's a sound. I really love standing in the sunshine. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. I love sun. Ah, my vibe right now. Mm, I just took a shower for the first time in a few days because I have a funny thing where I just don't shower very often, which I really like. Ah, and I got to be outside and go on a run. It felt so good. And this is my little boy's first day away from mm, home in July, August, 3 months. He's on a 6-hour adventure out around Central Oregon. He's exploring a canyon in the Badlands, and I'm so proud of him. And he was so excited to go adventure with his new friends, and that feels so relaxing and relieving. So, oh my God, that just like makes my heart melt because I know one of the reasons that he feels safe to do that is because I help him learn how to trust himself. And I've said this, I think, in another one of these episodes, that it feels like the most important thing that I can do as a parent to my little 5-year-old boy, he's going to be 6 very soon, is to cultivate, support him to cultivate his trust in himself. That the theme of any client I work with, it could be shaped in different language, but it all boils down to our ability to trust ourselves. And when we don't trust ourselves, we don't love ourselves, we don't respect ourselves. Like it's everything is from this nexus of self trust. And self trust is massively imprinted through the dynamic of ourselves with our parents or whomever our caregivers are. They might be biological parents or not. That is the thing that shapes our ability to trust ourselves. And I have so much compassion. Ooh, that was a part of my huge grieving with medicine several nights ago, was just like this, like shaking. I want to shake the world, and I want to shake the mothers, and I want to shake the fathers, and I want to say, people, the only thing that is really matters in this life is to help our kids trust themselves. Because if we don't do that, we're just repeating the fucked up shit over and over and over. And I will say, we can choose as adults to shift that. It can happen. And it's hard and it kind of sucks. And like, man, like if I could feel this deep self trust that I feel in myself now, if I could have felt that 20 years ago, like that would be cool. So I want my little boy to trust himself from the moment he came out of my body and forevermore. I want to cultivate that in him. That is my sole responsibility as his mother, and to keep him safe. But part of keeping him safe is helping him trust me. And as he trusts me, because that's what it's all about. We learn to trust ourselves because we can trust our caregiver. If we can't trust our caregiver, we turn it back on ourselves and we don't trust ourselves. And then we go into adulthood and we have to fucking unpack all that. And he has to trust me. And if he trusts me, that's the reflection for him to be able to trust himself. And if I show him that what he's feeling, what he's thinking is valid, and I can still have boundaries. Oh, yeah. There's still boundaries, there's still discipline. But in that dynamic, there's still love and respect and dignity. And that is what tells him that he can trust himself. Yeah. My midday mood just kind of shifted. Woo! Uh, um, okay. What I'm feeling right now actually is a lot of sadness. It's so interesting. It doesn't feel like sadness, but it is, but it's not. Um, like a halo on my head, isn't it? And the stepping into a more expansive version of ourselves. There is a death, there is a mourning, there is a loss, there is pain, there is resistance, there is fear. But it is so challenging. As much as it feels good, it is so challenging to expand ourselves into the version of ourselves that nature wants us to be in, which is to thrive. Because we know what we know, and what we know feels familiar, and what's familiar is safe. It's safe. It's learned safety, it's patterned safety. It's not true safety. But the neocortex is in its brilliant rationality, thank you, neocortex, can, like, really fuck with our lives. And and there is a deep, mm, conscious letting go and saying yes to the pain in order for us to step in to something bigger and vaster and more authentic. And so I say that right now because I feel that for myself. And as I feel that for myself, I feel a massive amount of compassion for humanity and the world. It feels like a catch-22 in so many ways. So I commend the leaning in to the discomfort and to help us have compassion for ourselves as we do that, and to teach our our deeper self that gets to decide if we want it to, that gets to navigate our life from this deeper place of awareness that is not the neocortex. It can be. It can get on board, and we can help it get on board. That can happen, and that's really important. And then it's a choice again, and then those choices keep getting easier and easier, but it is a freaking choice, and we have to choose it if we want something different, and we can all do this for ourselves. Ooh, okay. Ah, there we go. That is what I have today. I hope this was helpful. It's helpful for me to be able to flow with the authentic truth that's flowing through me in the moment to moment. So thank you for listening. And if this feels like it would be interesting to anyone you know, I would appreciate it being forwarded on to anyone you think it might benefit. And thank you. I'm grateful. I see you. I love you. You are worthy. You are worthy of feeling wholeness and thriving in your being. We all are. And you are capable of making that happen. Go team. We are all in this together. We all get to do our part. So for everyone stepping in, fucking thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Love you. See you next Thursday.